Welcome back to the Young Professional video blog, sponsored by Dale Carnegie and Dixon Schwabel. Our guest today has made it his professional mission in life to help people realize their high potential through education. To accomplish this mission, he's founded Next Step magazine in 1995. The company has grown to become a nationwide resource, helping more than 3 million students in over 20,500 high schools with college, career, and life planning. His most recent venture is BackToLearn.com, which helps adult learners find the best college program. Please welcome Dave Mammano. Well, welcome, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure's mine.
You know, Dave, starting a company within the higher education market is a huge endeavor, especially as a young professional, being that usually the people in the decision-making capacity within higher ed are slightly older. What did you do differently to bring out a competitive advantage?
Well, every entrepreneur finds a problem, right? And the problem I found is that a lot of teenagers were going to college and they didn't know why. Their parents said they should go. It was expected. It turns out to be kind of a rushed decision. A lot of times they spend more time buying a car than they do choosing the right college or the right major. So what happens quite often still today is students will end up at a college and then they get a year into it and they're like, why am I here? Why am I majoring in this? Why am I at this college? And then they got to transfer, and there could be some money wasted. So I found this problem. So I started a magazine, called Next Step, to help them with this whole process. So they examine themselves, choose their options, look at different majors, different career choices, different colleges, and I explain that to these educators that I'm helping them. I'm helping them so they'll end up at your school, at your college. And then, therefore, they'll hopefully have a better retention rate. So then they started viewing me as a resource and somebody that could be part of their solution. Charm, good looks, only goes so far. It doesn't go far with me at all. So, if they view me as a resource of, somebody who could help them, then you will, get their attention.
Yeah.
I started the magazine in '95. When I was 25 at the time, and so it was a struggle being taken seriously sometimes. But with bravado, with energy, with sincerity, you really could use youth to your advantage to win people over. Because most adults innately do want to help young people succeed, and if you come to them with sincere intentions. And a good product, and coming from a good place, and being viewed as somebody like, wow, this person could help my job, my company, my college, then let's give them a shot. So it's really all about coming from a good, sincere place and being yourself.
Sure. Talking about when you're saying students don't know why they're going to college, they just go to college, and sometimes you look at there's all kinds of different degrees that are out there. What do you feel is a degree that a young professional should look at getting that is going to help them be more competitive in the job market today and into the future?
That is a great question, and I am going to not answer it. Let me tell you why. So biomed is a great major right now, right? If I majored in biomed, I would probably find myself near a bridge within 2 weeks.
Sure.
Not my love, not my passion. What I would take your question and I would reverse it. I would say, instead of focusing on the hot majors, which change. 5 years ago, to be an investment banker at Lehman Brothers was a hot idea, right?
Yep.
Not much now. So where I'm going with this is passion. Instead of focusing on the hot majors and how they translate to money, focus on your passions. What do you love doing anyway? And how can you get paid for that? What are your hobbies? You, Herb, I know you love to be with people and help people sincerely. Wow, you work for Dale Carnegie. You don't work a day in your life, do you? So, right? If you find something you could do for a living that you love doing anyway, you never work a day in your life. I have to, I've been doing Next Step now for 16 years, and I still have to pinch myself to say, I get paid for doing this. I get to pick the people I work with and work with the clients that I want to work with, and I get paid to do that.
What do you think would happen when you start focusing on those inner passions? What do you think will happen for that young professional into that career field?
Well, I think, first of all, that young professional will start to really come alive. When I started my business, something clicked in me that just like, my pilot light went on, And I think if a young professional can click with their career and really, have the fortitude to go for it. Whether they want to be, could be something crazy. I want to be an actor. I want to be a TV reporter, very competitive. Or it could just be like, I actually do love biomed and I'm going to go for it, So I think what will happen is they'll be in good alignment with, who they are and what they're doing, in the outside world.
So it's telling them to stop paycheck chasing
Right.
and to get involved into who they are as a person.
Let me give you an example. So when I went to SUNY Buffalo, University of Buffalo, and I majored in pre-dental, right?
Oh, really?
I did. And my first year I did an internship, and I hated it. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a dentist, but it just was not my calling. So I said, I have no love of teeth whatsoever. It's not mine, right? So why do I want to be a dentist? And then I realized, I know why. My mother's cousin is a dentist, and he has a big house, and a red Porsche. So growing up as a kid, I'm going to be a dentist. So I saw the red Porsche, I saw the big house, I followed the money. And I said, it's all wrong. I was going to be miserable because it just was not my calling. So I changed my major. I went to go work for the college newspaper, and then I started a magazine, and I love what I'm doing.
How did that click to you? Like, when did you find out?
As far as what I
wanted. My passion is I want to start a magazine, and my passion is higher education. When did that click for you?
It clicked when I was about 24. I was out of college. I started selling radio advertising at some local radio stations. Worked for great people, loved my bosses. I just didn't like having a boss, and I just really wanted to do my own thing, and I just couldn't help it anymore. Like there was this beast that wanted to just come out and create something from scratch and be in control of it. And so I started thinking of different ideas of what I could do to own my own business. And like I said, I saw kids going to college that didn't know why. I went to a lot of my friends in college were lost because they chose the wrong major and or college. So I thought, I could start a magazine and help students with this. And I just did Rochester at the time. I said, I know how to write. I know how to sell ads. I ran the school newspaper at Buffalo. I'm like, I could do this. And it just clicked. I'm like, I need to give this a shot. Because I said, the worst thing that happens is it doesn't make it. And I'll just say, well, even though the business failed, I won't fail because I'll try again. I'll learn from my mistakes and I'll start a second business. So thank God 16 years later, we're still in business, but I'm still learning stuff every day. But it just clicked through, following that inner voice and saying, you know what, you got to give this a shot. There's a saying by Tony Robbins that says, if you're committed, there's always a way. Love that. And I just said, I'm just going to be completely committed to making this happen. So,
So when a young professional is looking to start their own company and be that young entrepreneur, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say they have to get out of their comfort zone. They have to go start to talk to people that own businesses. They have to take great courses like Dale Carnegie to increase their their confidence and their human relation skills, right? They have to start noticing trends, start putting together some business planning and start talking to people about it, starting to talk to potential customers. Hey, what do you think of this idea? That's what I did when I had this idea for the magazine. It's free. Our magazine's free to the students. We support it by selling advertising. To the colleges mostly. So I started. I said I have this idea, and I went to all the local colleges: Roberts Wesleyan, SUNY Brockport, all of them. St. John Fisher. And I said, I got this idea. I'm going to have a magazine here in Rochester. We were just Rochester at the time. Now we're nationwide. But at the time, we were 50 high schools, 10,000 copies. And I said, I'm going to have 10,000 copies to go out to local high schools. You can have an ad in there. We'll have a business reply card so the students could request information. Is this something that you might want to advertise in? Oh, yeah, it's a good idea. In fact, I would do this, this, and this. And they would give me advice. Then I would call them and say, hey, remember when you told me to do this, this, and this? Well, I'm doing it. Can I sign you up? So that's market research.
Very good.
Market research.
Yeah.
Just go out and talk to potential customers, who's ever going to use the product, and that's how you decide, what the final product's going to look like.
Sure. Creating that demand, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So looking at that and being able, you got to have a certain skill set to accomplish that type of goal and to knock on those doors. What are the skill sets do you feel a young professional needs to have to be successful in this marketplace?
Ignorance and no fear.
Okay.
Right? Just jump. Just try it. Just give it a shot. What do you got to lose? What do you have to lose? I just interviewed for the magazine Paul Orfalou, who's the founder of Kinko's.
Okay.
And I asked him a similar question. I said, what advice do you have for young people that want to start a business? He said, just try it. What do you got to lose? You go live with your parents if it doesn't work out.
Sure.
Start over.
Sure.
Go get your old job back.
So Dave, when you're not opening up your next venture, what are you doing for fun?
Well, you would think that I probably like to golf and live the jet set lifestyle. But in reality, I am a husband. I'm a dad. I have 3 kids, 7, 5, and I have a son that is a month old.
Wow. Yeah.
So for fun, I hang with my kids. Family, food, and a little fitness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, is there any other further advice you would like to give young professionals that are viewing this blog?
I think the biggest takeaway is to be humble, be curious, be yourself, look inward as far as who you are and what does that line up with in life as far as a career goes. What values do you have, and don't try to be like everybody else. I think some good advice I had as a kid is when you have to worry when you start acting like everybody else. Be unique, do your own thing, beat your own drum, and turn those natural passions into a career. Why not? It's America.
Why not? Yes.
You can. Another thing is I didn't tell you is when I got out of college, I thought I wanted to be a stand-up comedian for a while. So I wasn't married, no kids, no house, no nothing. I had my job at radio and I said, I'm going to try it. So I quit my job. I moved to Chicago.
Wow.
Took classes, Improv Olympia, Second City, did some stand-up, open mic contest, stand-up comedy. Had a great time. Acting classes. Tried it for about 6 months, and I just said, you know what? I'm not that funny. I wish you were in the audience. I really just said, I like this, but I don't love it. It's not my calling. It's not my passion. But now I'm going to be on my rocking chair when I'm 90 years old.
Yep.
And I'll say, I know for a fact that I was not supposed to be the next Jerry Seinfeld. I tried it. It wasn't my calling. I'll have no regrets. So I'm glad I did it. So especially, when you're young and, you don't have the commitments of a mortgage and a marriage and all this stuff, try these passions.
Sure. Well, thank you, Dave. I really appreciate having you today. And thank you for viewing. You might know our next guest from his interview on 60 Minutes when he challenges the strategy of Operation Iraqi Freedom, which then helped create the retirement of Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. He's a former U.S. general and now president of Klein Steel, John Batiste. And again, a special thanks to Dixon Schwabel for providing all of the video production and the Democratic Chronicle for hosting this on their website. Thank you again, and make it a great day.